There's a quiet tension in the background today. Not sharp, not overwhelming, but present enough that you can feel it if you slow down. It might show up as restlessness, a subtle urge to do something, even if you're not sure what that something is, or a feeling that you should be moving, even if nothing is clearly asking you to. And that's where today begins, in that space between stillness and action, where energy is building but direction hasn't fully formed. You might notice your thoughts becoming more active, jumping ahead, looking for the next step, trying to create momentum before clarity has settled. And part of you might feel slightly uncomfortable here, because there's something about not knowing what to do next that creates pressure, a quiet impatience. But this isn't confusion, it's accumulation. Energy is gathering within you, not to overwhelm you, but to prepare you. And preparation doesn't always feel calm. Sometimes it feels like tension. Sometimes it feels like you're waiting without knowing what you're waiting for. But there's intelligence in this space, even if it feels incomplete. So instead of trying to escape it, just notice it. The urge to move, the lack of direction, the subtle pressure building underneath both. You're not stuck, you're in between, and that space has a purpose. What's building inside you right now isn't random. Even if it feels undefined, there's a shift happening beneath the surface, a gradual rise in energy, a quiet activation, as if something within you is preparing to move. And this is the space just before ignition. Mars is approaching Aries. It hasn't fully entered yet, but you can feel it coming. Mars carries action, direction, impulse, the force that pushes things forward. And Aries is where that force becomes immediate, raw, unfiltered, decisive. So as this energy builds, you begin to feel it internally first, before it becomes clear, before it becomes focused. You feel the pressure of movement without the movement itself. And that can feel uncomfortable, because your system senses that something is about to happen, but your mind doesn't yet have the clarity to guide it. So it starts searching, looking for direction, trying to assign meaning, trying to do something with the energy. But this isn't the moment for direction yet. This is the moment where energy gathers before it chooses its path. And if you try to force clarity too early, you end up creating movement that isn't aligned. You move, but not from the right place. That's why today can feel like a kind of internal pressure chamber, not because something is wrong, but because something is forming. Your system is preparing for action, but preparation doesn't always feel productive. Sometimes it feels like restlessness. Sometimes it feels like impatience. Sometimes it feels like you're holding energy with nowhere to put it. And that's exactly what this is. Held energy. Potential. Waiting for direction. So what you're experiencing right now is the space between activation and clarity. And that space is not empty. It's intelligent. It's where your next movement begins to take shape, not through force, but through awareness. This is the point where pressure can quietly turn into reaction. Because when energy builds without direction, the mind tries to resolve it quickly. You might feel the urge to act just to release the tension, to make a decision even if it's not fully clear, to move even if you don't know where you're going yet. And in that moment, it can feel justified, because doing something feels better than sitting with uncertainty. But not all movement is alignment. Some movement is just an attempt to escape the pressure. You might notice yourself reaching for things, distractions, conversations, tasks that suddenly feel urgent, not because they truly matter right now, but because they give the energy somewhere to go.
And that's where misalignment begins. Not in big decisions, but in small, unconscious shifts away from stillness. Because this kind of pressure can make stillness feel uncomfortable. It can make you feel like you're wasting time, like you should be doing more, like you're falling behind something, even if nothing is actually chasing you. And that internal pressure can push you into premature action. You start something too early. You commit before you're ready. You speak before your thoughts have settled. And later, you feel the disconnect. Not because you made a mistake, but because you moved before clarity arrived. So notice that tendency today. The urge to resolve the feeling instead of understanding it. The desire to act instead of allowing. Because not every moment of tension is asking for action. Some moments are asking for capacity. The capacity to hold energy without immediately releasing it. And that's not easy, but it's where alignment is built. So if you feel that pressure rise, don't rush to get rid of it. Stay with it just a little longer than you normally would, and see what begins to form when you don't interrupt the process.
So what do you do when energy is building, but direction isn't clear yet? You don't force the movement. You create space for it to form. Start by allowing yourself to not know, not as a weakness, but as a necessary phase. There's no requirement today to have everything figured out, no pressure to decide immediately. You can hold the energy without assigning it somewhere, and that alone creates stability. Instead of asking, "What should I do next?" shift the question slightly. Can I stay present with what's building without rushing to release it? Feel the difference. One question creates pressure, the other creates space. And in that space, clarity has room to arrive. You can also ground yourself physically today. Simple things: slowing your breath, noticing your body, returning to your surroundings. Because when energy rises internally, your awareness can drift ahead of you. So bring it back, not by thinking more, but by feeling more. Feel your feet, feel your breath, feel the subtle signals in your body. Let that anchor you, and from there, move gently. If something needs your attention, approach it slowly, without urgency, without pressure, just presence. You don't need to release all the energy today. You don't need to act on everything you feel. Some of it is still forming, and if you allow it to form fully, your next step will come with clarity instead of force. So let today be less about action and more about readiness. Not readiness that's rushed, but readiness that's felt. Because when you move from that place, your actions don't just happen, they land. Let yourself slow down, just a little more. There's nothing you need to resolve right now, nothing you need to push forward. What you're feeling doesn't need to be released immediately. It can be held. So take a moment and return to your breath. Not to control it, just to notice it. The steady rhythm that exists underneath everything else. And from here, notice what's still present. The subtle tension, the quiet buildup, the sense that something is forming even if you can't see it yet. Let it be incomplete. Let it stay undefined. Because not everything is meant to become clear the moment you feel it. Some things need space. Some things need time. And some things need you to trust the process without interfering with it. So as you move through the rest of your day, when that pressure returns, when that urge to act rises again, pause. Not to stop yourself, but to reconnect. Come back to where you are and feel the difference between what is ready and what is still becoming. You don't need to rush what is still forming. You don't need to force clarity before it naturally arrives. Because the moment you stop chasing direction, you begin to notice it, quietly, without effort. And if this helped you stay with yourself today, even for a few moments longer than usual, carry that forward. Return to it when things begin to speed up again. And if you want to continue moving through these shifts with more awareness, more steadiness, you can come back here. Each day, not for answers, but for alignment with yourself.